Hats off to first Todd, Simon, and his crew. Fantastic effort by those young men. I thought they really played their hearts out. They scrambled, they clawed, they really, really gave us a really good game for 35 minutes or whatever it was, and just were resilient and did not quit. And so you have to, give them credit for coming into a hostile environment like Thomas and Mack and playing us so close for so long. So hats off to them, and we wish them luck. Former Rebel and good friend of their assistant coach used to work for me, Chris Pompey. So hate to play against friends because it's always tough to want somebody's got to take that L. But that's our profession. If you stay in it long enough, you're going to go against family and friends. So, and with that being said, I think I'll just kind of open it up. Last thing I do want to say briefly, I want to commend Tony Sanchez and the football players on continuing to move the needle in the right direction with our football program. I know it's got to be tough, man, because losing is just not fun, and especially against a rivalry team. And I feel for the guys and Tony, but I tell you, I shot him a nice text after the game, and he hit me right back, and he's just a class act, and he's doing things the right way, and he's creating the right culture, and we're going to be better next year, and that'll equate to more wins. So stay behind him, keep pulling for him. He's a true rebel. I love that guy, and I love those players, and I hope that they don't take it to heart, and I hope they use this as motivation to be even better next year. So don't beat them up too bad, guys, in the media. All right, open it up for questions.
All right, this is for Mama Menzies, nice and loud. There you go.
I will tell her.
You guys shot it extremely well tonight, probably the best all year. 54% from the floor, 41% from three. What do you attribute that to, Marvin? Is it more the guys getting comfortable with each other, or was it what Southern Utah gave you tonight, ball movement?
Shot selection is big. Our individual skill development, which is a little bit different than most programs, the way we separate that from practice, I think that helps a player to get better all year long. I won't go too long into that component, but I think that helps. They got good players. We got guys that get in the gym on their own, and I think that's another good thing. So probably a combination of a lot of little things like that. Chris Clyburn was a little bit of a slump, and he got in there and has been shooting 1,000 shots, a day, and just all of a sudden now the ball goes in. Voila. It's funny how that works, huh? Pass the mic. Don't drop the mic. Just pass the mic.
Coach Jordan said that you like to tell them the last 4 minutes of a game are winning time. That's when they're supposed to come out and win the game. With about 6 minutes ago, it was still a really tight game.
Yeah.
Is that something that you reiterated to them in the huddle
every
going
game.
into the last few minutes?
Yeah, every game. Even when we're up a lot, we talk about 4 minutes, being winning time and taking care of the ball, limiting the turnovers, step to the line with confidence on your free throws. You got to rebound, and you got to have a high-quality grade shot. You can't take a crappy shot, for the lack of a better cliche. It's just those are how you win games. The people that do the right things in winning time, teams that do the right things in winning time usually come out on top.
On that note, did you see them kind of change their mentality in the last few minutes of the game? What really sparked them to go on that run late?
Well, I think they knew that we could run and we could get open shots. We just needed to step to the line and concentrate and finish at the free throw line, and then also step to the three and take the right three. I mean, Anthony's three I wanted him to shoot that shot. It was inside, the weak side, and back to outside, and he's toeing the line, and he's not 7 feet behind the line. He toes the line, and he makes a good shot. Amari Hardy, his shot was the same one. We got an inside touch, I think off a baseline drive, or Jordy may have driven. I don't know, Michael. Break down the film for me and let me know. But it ended up being another, I think, inside that weak side shot. So you got to make those. It's a game of scoring, but it's also a game of, getting stops. And we didn't do that very well tonight. So we've got to work on that, and we will. And that's why I say you got to give them credit. A lot of those shots they made were tough shots. I mean, we got number 15, Eights is scoring over a 7-footer consistently with, good challenges and, tip your hat.
Jovan didn't play the last 7
I'm sorry,
minutes.
name and publication, please. No,
Tyler Bischoff.
I couldn't help.
Jovan didn't play the last 7 minutes or so. What was behind that decision?
Me. I don't know what you want me to tell you. I just decided not to play him the last few minutes. Look, Jovan it's about winning games. And if you find a group of players that are on a roll, well, you want to sub back in LeBron just because, the scores? Yeah, it was working in our favor, right? We don't have egos on this team, At least I hope we don't. And I hope they all understand. He seemed to be fine. I don't know. But we're going to coach these games and win games. Jay didn't get in. Shaq only played a couple minutes. Mbake only played a few minutes. I don't know who else was on the bench that didn't play as much as they normally play. But my boss told me they keep score for a reason. So I'm going to make sure every time we have a chance to have come out on the winning side, we do that. So I guess in a long answer, but.
How did you think your team handled their aggressive doubling the post before the ball was even in there in the first half?
How we handled them doubling us? Did they double us?
Well, before Brandon or Shakur could even get some passes in there.
Oh, I didn't see much doubling, so maybe I was looking at the perimeter on those sets. But, I guess we handled it fine. I don't know, bro. Honest to God, I don't remember it happening too often. They may have done it a couple times, but I think getting the ball out of there is the key, and getting it reversed and back inside on the weak side is the way that we attack it. So, again, Mike and I will break down film, and I'll give you a better answer once we do that.
A decided advantage every game in fouls. You guys seem to be every team you played has been in foul trouble way before you. Talk about the athleticism and the size advantage that's leading to that.
Well, not to toot my own horn, but I think we teach how to get fouled. Our staff teaches how to get fouled. We talk about going body to body and talk about getting inside a guy's yard when we go to bounce, specific things that we do in the post. And, with the new rules, the way that, they're trying to give offensive players freedom of movement, I think we're trying to take advantage of that. But you still got to get to the line and make free throws, and we didn't do that very well. I think we only shot 66%. So it's a double-edged sword if you get there and you don't knock them down.
This is the first time you guys really been pushed, in the second half of a game this year with this group. Did you, when Southern Utah is making runs and they're cutting it to 1 and cutting it to 2, did you sense anything from the players? Did you like what you saw? Like, what was the feeling that you were getting from them?
That's a good question, Mike. I sensed that it pulled them together a little bit, because I don't think they were really together at certain points in that game. I thought that they got a little chippy with each other. I think they were a little short, quick to bite back at a guy when he was just giving him his observation, which I hadn't seen before. But then when push came to shove, I thought that it made them bond a little bit. And then when we had some success offensively, unfortunately, they got them going a little bit. And then we got some stops late. But we got to put defense over offense. And I think that's the lesson here for our guys. We gave up 85 points. Is that the most we've given, or 82? Is that how much is we, Andy, do you know? How much we've given up? Somebody else had 80 against us, right? I think, but no, right? So this is the most scored against us all year. So to me, that's, something that's great for us to go to work on and figure out how they scored and what were our scouting mistakes and who do we go under on ball screens that we said go over, and teach those things that happen. A lot of that was during fatigue, but the elite teams don't do it. They're disciplined, and they do the right thing regardless. So, anyone else have a question? We got a question in the back. I'll just repeat your question. We won't bring the mic over. What's your question?
I was wondering, after the big win over Utah this week, what was your assessment of the number of fans who came out here tonight?
After the big win over Utah last week, what was the assessment of the attendance tonight? I don't know. I don't know the number tonight. It felt good. I don't know. It felt like a good environment. I don't know. What was the final number? Not bad, right? It's pretty decent. I think it's heading in the right direction. I think that's one of our high attendances this year, right? Yeah, so it's trending in the right direction, and so I'm glad for that. I'm also glad we had the right people here. You know, I think it's important that you have the right fans in the building. Not that we want all the fans in the building, don't get me wrong. But I think you have some fans that believe, you know, starting to believe in us and starting to see what we're trying to do and this administration is trying to do and what the players are playing hard. And, you know, let's face it, everybody wants a team they can be proud of. So that's my job, is to put a product on the floor and off the floor and in the classroom that the community can be proud of. And we're heading in the right direction. Not to mention we had 3.2 GPA this summer. I'm sorry, what was that? 95-43. I'll text you that afterwards. Yeah. Got one more.
I don't know if it's, at the end of the games, the players are going and embracing the fans, going around shaking hands. I haven't seen that before. Is that something that you encouraged or something they're doing on their own?
It's something I have nothing to do with. We got great kids. I walked into the locker room and none of the kids were in there. And I said, where are they? Say, they're hugging the fans. I said, okay, I'll see them when they get in here. That was all on them. I'd love to take credit for that. We used to do that by design at New Mexico State. Periodically, we'd say, okay, guys, I want you to go up in the stands. But I love the fact that it came from them. And we never talked about it. We won't ever talk about it. They'll go when they, you know, want to go. And if they don't want to go for whatever reason, they won't go. I want it to be sincere. I don't want it to be scripted. So that's the kind of running rebels this team has. So testimony to the character. Anything else, guys? All right. Have a great Saturday evening.
Jordan, the last 5 minutes you seemed to take over the game. What were you thinking going into that stretch?
I was just thinking get the win because the game was pretty close during the whole game. So I was just thinking win. Like Coach Meyer said, that last 4 minutes of the game is winning time. So you got to make free throws, make perfect passes, no turnovers, just win the game.
Shakur, what was Marvin saying during the game about defensive rebounding, since Southern Utah had quite a few in this game?
He just told me to keep crashing, just keep being energetic and do what I do best, and was rebounding. So I took that in consideration and just crashed real hard.
Hey, Jordan, a close game like this, what do you learn from it? Obviously, coming in undefeated, you're going to get a team's best effort, and they want to take down the Rebels. So I guess, what do you take away from a close game like this moving forward?
From a close game like this, we just, it's a learning game. It's learning about what we need to do better and what we need to focus on more in practice. Basically, just focusing on us and having us do better.
Yes, Shakur, just same question for you. Again, this was pretty tight, and like I said, teams are gunning for you guys, so it was this a good learning experience you feel for your team?
Yeah, we just had a big target on our backs tonight. They came out not caring about our record, about our jerseys, about our arena. They just wanted to win, and they gave us their best punch. And I give them the utmost respect. They came out and they just played their heart out.
This is for both of you guys. You seem to really be clicking together out there on the court tonight. Were you just taking what they gave you, or do you feel like your chemistry is starting to build as the season grows?
You want to answer?
Yeah. Well, he's an outstanding point guard. He sees the floor good, make good passes. Just he gets the team involved, and I don't know if it was or not, but I was just at the right place at the right time. He was at the right place in the right time, and it just clicked. I mean, if it was anybody else on the team, he would do so. So it's not just a me, him. It's like a him and the whole team type thing.
With that, it's just we have good chemistry on and off the court. We're all like brothers. We argue. You see us arguing on the court, but we still get through it. We next possession mentality, as Coach Mara says. So that's how we get through games like this, one of the tough ones.
Shakur, you guys got first road game coming up. next. You guys excited to get out on the road, or how is that different? What's the mentality like heading into to that game as you get ready for it?
I mean, every game is, you should be excited. It's an opportunity to do the thing that you love. I don't think anyone here does not like basketball on this team or in this university. So our mindset is we got to focus on the first game, the next game ahead. Tonight, we had to focus on this game now. When we go on the road, we just got to lock in. We know they're going to have a good crowd. They did good in the tournament, so we just got to stay focused in practice and off the court, so we can give them our best shot when we go out there.
Jordan, you talked about winning time, is what Coach Menzies talks about. Did you change your game at all during that time to, make fewer mistakes, or do you change the way you play in any way when a close game, last 4 minutes?
No, we still play the same way in winning time. It's just you make sure you take care of the ball more, you make sure you make your free throws, and you try to make all your shots as much as possible in that 4-minute span.
Anything else? Thank you, guys.
No problem. Thank you for having us.